Happy Mother's Day, guys! On this episode, I have my mom with me, and we're going to discuss a few things about motherhood. And this episode was so good, guys. I hope that it blesses you, and I hope y'all watch all the way through. Okay, watch all the way through, okay? Because there are some gems in here that my mom drops, okay? Thank y'all so much for watching. Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back to Soul Sundays. And on this episode, it's a special episode, Mother's Day edition. Today's guest is my mother.
Hello. You should have cheer applause. You should have
you want me to do the cheers and
the
applause?
effects.
And the confetti?
You're like,
we're gonna get into a deep conversation about motherhood, so keep on watching. All right, mommy. She told me not to get too deep, y'all, so I'm just gonna ask the questions and not get too deep. The first question: how did you find out you were pregnant? We kind of already getting a little deep. How did you find out you were pregnant? I always wanted to know that though, because I did not know. You never told me that story.
I didn't find out for sure. I wasn't by myself when I found out for sure through a test.
Okay, so you knew that you were pregnant. So you was like, okay, I think I'm pregnant, and then you went and got a pregnancy test.
It's kind of like a long story. Before I took it, I was not really sure, because I felt like my cycle I was a very regular 28-day girl. And that 28-day there it was. No variation from that.
I'm not regular at all.
And yeah, and I'm and a lot of people ain't regular, but I was always direct, and I suffered. So I would almost plan for it, because I cramped really, really bad. So it did not appear in January of 1994. And then by February, I was like, something's not right. And so, because what it was, this was my first sexual relationship, so I went on condoms, and then somebody don't wear condoms, and then you go to trust him, and I ain't gonna say the method that you use, but people know what I'm talking about, what method it was. So I won't say it. So that's where we were. So I was thinking nothing of it. Your dad happened to be working security at Minority Griswold. It is some sort of building downtown, and he said, go get it and come up, because we still wasn't sure. Go get the test to come. So I go get the test, and I come up there with the test, and he's reading the thing, and I'm just like, whatever. So he tells me to go squat behind his car, and I said, I am not doing that. I had a brilliant idea. Okay, my mom doesn't live far away from this building, so I could go to home in 3 minutes, pee in a cup, and come back. How was I supposed to do that? I wasn't thinking. And nobody see me. I mean, it was fine to put the little cup in my purse to go in the house to pee, but I mean, people was home. I don't remember who was home. Anyway, it was really crazy. So I snuck back out the door and went back up there. So he does it, and I'm just sitting there, and all I remember is he looked like he was upset. So I kind of look over and see, I see from distance, like the positive, and he takes it and throws it in the woods.
Oh no, Mom. You are lying.
At this point, I'm sitting there, oh, he big man. I thought it was kind of cute though. And I was like sitting there, giggling to myself. This is funny.
Oh my
God.
God.
But yeah, that's how I found out.
Okay. He threw it. Oh
I
my
ain't never
goodness.
see that test again.
Oh my
Don't have it in my
God.
memoirs. Because it went tossed right across the gate.
Child, the spirit of anger. Okay. Okay. Do you remember your pregnancy and during your pregnancy with me, and then the delivery?
It was the worst time of my life. Why you making me laugh?
Wait. So which pregnancy was smoother? Mine's or CJ? It was both of them.
They
Babe.
were both
Oh
horrible.
God.
I really felt like I was being punished severely.
From start to finish?
I threw up the entire 9 months,
Nope.
just about each time.
I can't do that.
I lost weight when I got pregnant. Both pregnancies. After having the children, I was smaller than I was before I got pregnant.
That was me.
Whatever I ate pretty much went right through me. There was a number of tests they make you do, like the glucose test at the time was an orange drink.
Yep.
I hated orange drinks for a very long time because they told I had to get up that morning and it was like something like you couldn't eat. Eating made my stomach irritated. Not eating made my stomach irritated. Whatever I ate made my stomach. So this particular test, I think they give you another one. And it's straight up glycerin, some kind of sugary, but it's nasty. It's very nasty.
Yeah.
It was just my taste buds probably. But anyway,
No,
I
it was
tasted
nasty.
and I was like, I drank it one more time. The whole time I'm just telling myself, please don't. And it's like she got up to go around the corner and I start feeling it coming. So I start to ease up. And then I run to the restroom. And next thing I know, this woman is right behind me, running to see if I'm throwing up. And I was. So they made me come back. It was disgusting.
So how was the delivery?
Your delivery was a surprise C-section. And so since I already had a C-section with you, then the next was a scheduled C-section. So with CJ it would have been scheduled. But my water had broke at work at the bank. And your dad came and got me, took me to the hospital. And by then we was married, and Nancy Dansby from the bank then gave him some plastic. And when I come out to the car, he got his whole seat covered in plastic. And all I could think is, really? Really? So we get there, and this had to have been October 26th. On October 27th, I'm still pregnant. And everybody done walked in the hospital room saying, she's dilated this many centimeters. I swear one doctor will walk in and say, oh, she's dilated 3 centimeters. And the next one will say, oh, she's 1. What? Then the next one come back, oh, it's 4.
Oh,
then the next one come back, oh, it's 2. And so me and your dad and your grandma would sit there like, when are we having this baby? I do consider myself having a good OBGYN. But I just see so many horror stories of women and what goes on birth. And if you can't speak that, and, I'm not sure, like at that time, you could always go back. I'm just thankful to God that, you were okay, but you did end up back in the hospital. Not even a month after you were born with an infection. And, we was very scared about it. And I believe it's because you may stayed in the amniotic fluids or something for too long. And, I shouldn't have had to still been up there pregnant, the next day. If nothing happened, I feel like they should have did something quicker. But God had his hands in it and everything. But as women, you have to vocalize and speak up for yourself because, especially African American women, because people aren't, paying us any attention when we say, hey, something ain't right, something's going on.
Right.
pay me some attention. Why am I still here? Seems like you don't want to say anything because you don't want, like, you feel like your life is in these people's hands. Your dad's mom, she was in nursing. She was saying a lot. And I was like, oh, she's going to get me hurt. They're going to give me a hot needle or something like that.
Yeah.
But, she was, somebody has to advocate for you. And it was like she was up there kind of pushing them to say, hey, something's going on here. Yeah. We need to go ahead and get this baby. I mean, she done been sitting here since yesterday.
Okay, the next question, these questions was CJ planned.
Yes.
CJ was planned. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I always said I wanted to have my kids all my kids I'm going to have. I'd like to do it before I'm 30. I had CJ October of 1999. I turned 30 May of 2000. So these days I look at childbirth and women and age range in a whole different light. I mean, it's so different than what we looked at it in our age group. When we were growing up. But now, even my age group or the group under me, women are having kids in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, whatever like that. So I think that's just amazing. It's just we have so much technology and so many better things. And even now having like a phone, or, something that we, didn't have ready, set right there, emergency type situation. So I wanted to have my kids before I was 30. So I think I said, 5 years apart, but I said to your dad, look, if we're going to have another kid, we need to go and do it now. And I did not plan like a month, anything. So I just figure I'm fertile around January, February, I don't know. Must be the times of the month.
Yeah, because my brother's birthday is the 24th and mine is the 27th. So we're in the same month.
And he was scheduled for C-section on the 27th, but
you said
my water
that
broke on the 23rd.
So we almost had the same birthday.
Almost.
That would have been cool. Did you want more kids?
When I was younger, I wanted 4 kids. I wanted 2 girls and 2 boys because I wanted my daughter to have a sister and my son to have a brother.
Oh, that's cool.
But after, life is expensive and sometimes you struggle financially. And after I had been through the pregnancies I had been so sick.
Yeah.
It was like the whole 9 months. This kid was saying, hey, let me out of here. I don't want to be.
Because I wanted 3 boys, but I was like, RJ is 3 boys in one. But I wanted 3 boys. How is it raising 2 kids? Because I know when I had got pregnant the second time, I was freaking out. And then I was like, wait, I was about to Google, how do you raise 2 kids? Like everybody I know has 2 kids, but how was it raising me and CJ? I guess a newborn and me, which I was 5? How was that?
It's an adjustment. But I think sometimes I'll just say, namely, you were just so smart and helpful. Like you would help. And so that sometimes that one kid would teach the other kid. And the one, if you got 2 kids, then the second one may be like a little more book smart or whatever because they around someone, closer to their side to tell them stuff and teach them stuff and say, come on, do this, grab that, do that. And then, it's like a little kid want to do what they big brother or big sister tell them to do. So it was pretty good in that respect.
Okay. How hard was it to ask for help, like in the time of when I don't want to say with you. I mean, I'm sure when you and Dad was together, I'm sure you probably needed help too, but more so when you became a single mom, like how hard was it to ask for help?
Well, When I asked for help, it would probably be from my family members.
So that was pretty easy.
So yeah, it was just like secondhand. Cause I mean, every family has dysfunction, all this and that. But I just really feel like at the end of the day, I can call, my sisters, my brother, my mom, even sometimes my dad, and they just gonna be there for me. Your grandma came and lived with us, so it was not like hard at all to ask them for anything. My mom is the kind of mom who she's
help.
the core and the center. It wasn't never, oh man, I can't ask this one, I can't ask that one. It was like if they had it, you had it. My mom, had a whole community of friends or church people or people she prayed with or whatever.
Come on.
That would just say, give this to your daughter or tell this to your daughter or can I call your daughter?
Oh.
Will she have a conversation with me? And, I've had people speak over me, give me things, help me out. And then Aunt Mabel, I don't know if y'all remember Aunt Mabel coming, driving us places. Yeah, so it was aunts, it was just so many people that, and I would say more so their words, prayers, and just good old fashioned wisdom from another woman, very helpful.
Did you feel like you were being too strict on me and CJ or weren't strict enough?
I always had a degree of guilt, and it was like, if y'all did something, I wanted to punish you and let you know, hey, don't do that. But I felt sorry for you. At that time, especially like the time when you just did not have a relationship with your dad at all. It just wasn't any kind of visitation or nothing going on. See, I told y'all I was going CJ, he would say, you told me, and he'll say this now, you told me not to hit nobody back and tell the teacher. Well, as a mom, doing it by myself, it's like, me knowing CJ's temperament and everything, I feel like if he hit somebody, he's going to hurt him. And then he's going to get in trouble. And I'm sure some women could attest to this. You ever been in that situation? You're being the primary caretaker for the kids and you being the one who's really rearing them every day. But, I'm just saying there was a point I did it without help at all. So that other side is going to look at you. If something good happens to your kids, and this is from experience that I've seen and experienced myself, something good happens, they're there to celebrate and cheer. Maybe or maybe not, but it is come that they would show up to celebrate and cheer. But if something bad happens, that's what she get.
Every time.
Look at her over there, can't do nothing with them churn. It's like a catch-22, because like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be strict? Some things, y'all point out to me. I wasn't perfect, and I feel bad about the way I handled some things. But for the most part, yeah, I'm not sure that I could have done anything different without help. I did what I did because I didn't have help.
Yeah. And I felt like you were, at the time, I felt like you were strict because, of course, my friends were telling me like, oh, your mom, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm older and I'm a mom, now I'm like, oh my God, I understand why
like honestly with that, my mom, if someone was asking me how I felt about my parents when I was younger, I would say, oh, my mom was mean and my dad was cool. You
Cool
know,
parent.
and after I become grown and you see,
Yep.
and then as a woman you see, oh, she was like that because this man making her crazy. He had a little bit to do with how she had to come home and do this and do that and do it for
Oh
everybody.
yes.
And you wonder why she got an attitude after she done worked the day out, and that kind of thing. So, I was like, I used to think my mom was just like, this is a mean lady, and dad was cool. And, me and him can play pool and do this and do that. But,
they just go to work and come.
yeah,
They don't have to worry about periods. They
right,
ain't gotta worry
right.
about cooking, cleaning.
It's just it's a lot on us.
Yes. But yeah, I think he did a great job because now certain things that are happening, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see why
Right.
mom did that. And see, yeah, because, yeah, I'm kind of beating myself up a little bit about RJ because I feel like I'm so strict on RJ. But I'm like, no, I'm raising a man, and he
Right.
needs to know that no means no, and that you can't get upset if it's a no, and so yeah, I definitely.
Cause CJ is the most one I have to back and forth, and I try to tell him it's gonna be way rougher out there
Yeah.
to punishment people are gonna do to you for doing something wrong than anything I could ever do.
Especially in
They will
America.
lock you up, kill
Yes,
you,
yes,
sentence you, take your whole
yes,
life away from you for doing
yes.
something wrong.
Without
So
thinking
you
twice.
have to learn the basis of right and wrong.
Is there anything you wish you would have told me before I became an adult?
Anything I wish I would have told you. I don't think there ain't a lot we can tell you. You know, life gonna come at you.
Period.
It's gonna come hard.
Yes.
Uh, I could only thing I could really share with you is experiences that I had in my life, but that don't mean that you're gonna entertain those same experiences. Your life is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Your choice is gonna be different.
Yeah.
In the world, in these last 20 years, 30 years since you've been living, it has changed like really, really drastically. I mean, I would say in the last 30, it's been more changes than any lifetime
Yeah.
in these 30. I mean, it just, things have moved so fast by the way just the world runs and works.
They're totally different.
So you just have to, I had a teacher in high school, and he taught government, some kind of government. I remember we learned the state capitals in his class. He said, he'll direct us, Miss Holmes, and he would say, you just got to roll with the punches. And that stayed with me, from being in high school, just roll with the punches. I was like, what's, he would always say that. But when I learned what it means, don't lay down for the count. Don't get counted out. Life is going to throw you some stuff, and you just got to roll with it. If you want to keep abreast and up to date with what's going on, just roll with it. Don't lay down and die. Don't say, oh, I can't do it. That's when you give up. Roll with the punches.
Okay. That's a good statement. Okay, so this is Soul Sundays. So, in honor of Soul Sundays, I want to know what made you take us to church. Come on, Jesus.
I grew up in church. When my parents didn't go to church, somebody took us. We went with my big mama. We went with my grandmother. We went with my aunt and uncle and cousins. So we was always going to church. And my mom, when she just really got into her salvation, and we started going to church regularly, I would say, with her as a parent. I just remember the quote from the Bible that says, if you train a child in the way they should go, they would never depart from, or they will stray at a time, but they, they'll come back. They'll come back to it. The teaching is there. It's embedded in your heart. People talking about snatching your soul and doing all this. You can't take from me. Like the joy, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world can't take it away. But the word I had in my heart, that can't be taken away from me. And you can take a lot of things from me, but the word is a special place. It has a special place in my heart. I would say there was a time that I wasn't going to church regularly, and I strayed, and I feel like that's a good reason why I probably end up unequally yoked. Because had I stayed on the path, I would have found someone believe what I believed.
Right.
The biggest part, sometimes storms and trials bring us back to God. You know. And when I really started having really bad trouble, we all started going to church. Me, you, your dad, CJ, everything like that. And it was a subject of contention. With our going to church amongst different people. I'm not going to get into all that. But after, divorce and letting the relationship go and all that kind of stuff, I remember feeling I needed to take my power back. And focus on me.
Right.
And really relinquish any power that it seemed that anyone had over me. Like I said, I'm not going to let this one hurt me anymore, and I'm not going to let that. And I had to take my power back. And where was my power? Where was my strength? Where was my hope for tomorrow? Where was that? It's in Christ. With God's help, I remember somebody rang the doorbell one day. And, I don't think we went to the door. But anyway, when I sent you and CJ out to the mail to get the mailbox, it was a flyer from the church. I looked at it and I was like, okay, this seemed like, maybe the next time off on Sunday, me and the kids will go. And we went, and I'm just telling you, it was a spirit. It was just spiritual. It was freeing. And I wanted to feel good about myself, and the first thing you have to do is forgive.
Yes. I learned that the hard way.
So
For sure.
I learned forgiveness, and I had to, and I'm going to tell you, I say I forgive and I move on and I try to move in the way that I forgive. But if you forgive and someone says you have to forgive, it doesn't matter what, and you can have a rebuttal to that, but they did this, you don't know that, it don't matter. And I was still doing but people don't know. People don't know he this and he that, and people don't know people don't need to know. People need to know what your testimony is, and if you need to share with them, and that's what God wants you to do, then that's when you share that. But don't use that as an excuse to say, well, I'm mad 'cause.
Yeah.
I'm this way 'cause. That's not true forgiveness. True forgiveness is in the heart. And as long as you don't forgive, people will have that control over you. So even when I think of now, I think of how I've been in situations, whether it was a spiritual dance, whether it was a word, remembering the names of sermons, whether it was any of that to just evoke my memory about how I was healed, how I was set free. A word from God that changed my life. I wanted for y'all to have that. One time crying, I can't do this by myself. Look like I'm going to have to, but I'm saying I can't do this by myself. And that's when I reached my hand toward him I feel like that helped me a lot. When you say I asked for help, that was another chapter in my life of people just reaching out and being there to help.
Yeah.
You know, to say, oh, well, I'll get the kids, or I'll do this, or let me know, I'll help you out. I'll come to the school, you know. So, and I'm glad I did it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, the church was popping.
Yeah.
Back
God
in the day,
can
2000,
heal,
early
he can
2000,
deliver,
99.
he can mend your brokenness. He has a miracle to fit your need. Oh, it was popping.
Oh my God, I love that church.
Oh my God.
I thought about that, but yeah, that church was popping. It was real. It was a really, really good church, and for that time, it needed to be that way.
Oh yes,
for us,
for a season, for that season, that was our season. You know, just like they say, everybody who here is meant to be here at such a time as this. That was, I mean, I feel so warm and fuzzy when I think about, when I think about this, you know, songs, when I think about the praise team, when I think about the ministry.
Okay, well, last question, and to be on a lighter note, kind of a junky joke. What's better, being a mom or being Mimi? And you better answer right.
And I'm going to teach you how I spell it. Being a M-E-M-E.
Oh, and I spelled it like Mimi Frost, girl, on Little Hip Hop.
Mimi.
Like Mimi Frost.
I love my grandson. And it's probably because, well, I love him because he's my grandson. But when you just look in the eyes of a child, it's just so innocent and so beautiful and so pure, you know? And I just love it.
Why is it different? Why are y'all more like, because me and Reggie talk about it all the time, how, bruh, RJ took my daddy Fry and threw it and punched him. And my dad just laughed at him. Child, I would have been across the field at the hospital if I did that.
Light post down the street.
So what is it? Why are y'all so much nicer to y'all grandkids?
You have to have one day. I didn't understand it. I didn't. But yeah.
Indescribable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, this was great. You need to come back. Okay. That was good.
That's wonderful.
You did good. You were nervous and worried for nothing, child. And this is another episode of So Sunday's Mother's Day edition. And to all the mothers, happy Mother's Day. You are important. You are kind. And you got this. Stay strong. You got this, okay? But yeah, tune in next time for another special episode. Bye, guys.
So I'ma enjoy this moment. It's the day that the Lord has made. Nothing to say, nothing to talk down. It's good to know where you live right now. So it's not wasting another day. To find out to see that I'm open. It's nothing to say, nothing to talk down. Yeah, almost lost my mind a couple times. It got so hot I thought I wanna die. Blood dripping from my arm, just wanna feel inside. Too afraid to open up, so I'd rather hide. Man, I'm just so grateful that I made it this far. Almost thought I had to call my mama in a cop car. Betty's everything for me and everything I need. I would be nothing if you didn't give me no reason to be.